beautiful.
Hello, lovers of the world. This is Cinta speaking. Here are the things that I have loved this month of December. Starting off with our first category, which is music. Here are some songs from the past month that I've been spinning a lot lately. Given that I usually talk about albums pretty much exclusively in my channel, these monthly wrapped videos are a casual, easy way for me to spotlight specific songs that I've been obsessed with recently. So by the time that this video is released, the holidays are over and it is probably the first week of January, but I must highlight the holiday themed music that I was really into because I was just listening to them a lot during December. First off is my favorite Christmas project. It's Fruitcake by Sabrina Carpenter. This is such a great EP. I remember when she released this back in 2023 and she was just gaining some steam. I think this was around the time that Nonsense and Feather had come out and everybody was like starting to really warm up to Sabrina Carpenter, as was I. I had just finished listening to Emails I Can't Send, or the deluxe version of that, which is Emails I Can't Forward, and I just thought it was a great project and I was already keeping her in my thoughts. And then she released Fruitcake, and honestly I actually really loved Fruitcake a little bit more than the studio albums that she had released because they were just so fun and flirty and cool. This is my favorite type of Christmas music. It embraces the kitschiness but respects the point of making a Christmas song in this day and age. I understand people who are not liking this type of Christmas music because it's so secular, like it's not particularly religious, but I just like the potential or the availability of the accessibility of a song like this where everybody who may not be super religious or super Christian can still really enjoy listening to Christmas themed songs. So for me, this has now become a Christmas staple and it gets me into the Christmas spirit. The next song or the next music that I'm talking about is kind of the opposite of Sabrina Carpenter's Fruitcake. It's not very Christmassy themed at all. It is River by Joni Mitchell. This is a song from her album Blue. Very, well-renowned album, very well-renowned artist. I remember some people kind of praising River as a very heartfelt Christmas song because it's not really a Christmas song. In the first few seconds of the song, it's like it borrows the melody from Jingle Bells. So you think it's gonna be a little bit festive, and then the lyrics are like, I'm sad, I'm depressed, I wish I could get away from here. And I'm like, wow. And I think it's a Christmas song in the same way that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, in that both pieces of media are set during Christmas and the story that the media is presenting is tied to being set during Christmas, but it is not celebrating Christmas in any way. I like Christmas enough that I'm usually happy during the holidays, but something about having a really sad song like this, it adds a layer of depth to the celebrations that you have during Christmas, that it reminds you that not everybody is experiencing Christmas the same way, and it also allows you to feel melancholic during the Christmas time when everything around you is quite festive and very over-the-top joyous, and you're like, I listen to this and I'm like, I am allowed to be sad during Christmas, whatever reason that might be, whether that's because the people I love is not in the same country, or whether something is bothering me, or whether I'm sad that the year is ending and then the next year is gonna be super daunting, whatever that may be. I really like having the song playing with me, like kind of juxtaposing and contrasting the very festive and over-the-top Christmas songs. And the last holiday themed song that I'm going to talk about is called This Year by the Mountain Goats. My personal New Year's tradition is listening to the song the minute that it turns the next year. So to me, it's like, oh, this is the first song I listened to in 2026. I'm filming this in December 21, so New Year's hasn't happened yet, but I really like having my own traditions and looking forward to listening to the song to usher in 2026. There are two other songs I want to spotlight that aren't very holiday themed. One is So What by Jane Remover. This is one of the B-sides of her EP Heart, and if I had to pick a favorite from the entire track list of that EP, it would be Dream Sequence. I love Dream Sequence, it's a great song, but So What is a new song that I haven't heard of before, and out of the new songs that came out with that EP, this is the one that I've been gravitating towards the most, and I just really love the song so much. It gets me so hyped, and I think the whole EP is actually about Jane Remover and their crazy situationship slash relationship with a person that wasn't willing to commit to them, and all of the songs are really amazing at capturing that really heartbreaking feeling, heartache feeling. It's a different it just captures a really nuanced feeling that a typical breakup heartbreak song about a situationship doesn't capture. So I really love the song. It's like I think one of my favorites of the year actually. And then the other song that I've been really listening to a lot is Fantasy by Jade. This is a single from her album That's Showbiz Baby. She released this last year, but it's only this year that I've actually managed to listen to the entire album with the singles in context. And this is when this song came out, I was always like, this is like a really amazing song. It's so like nostalgic and like carefree, fun and sexy. And then just listening to it in the context of the other B-sides just adds a layer of storytelling to both the album and the song. So I really like this a lot. And that's all I've got for my music category. We're gonna move on to the second category, which is stories. So this category covers any kind of media that either teaches me something or presents a story about the world. So the first one that I want to talk about is a book titled Independent Music and Digital Technology in the Philippines by Monica E. Shu. So I've been trying to read this for my postgrad studies and I found it really interesting. It was a recommendation from a contact of mine. Unfortunately, my university library catalog did not have this book. I had to ask my sister to chip in for me to purchase this book because it was so expensive. And I don't even have a physical copy. I could only afford the ebook version. And I asked like, hey, who's willing to split this for me for Christmas? And my sister agreed. So it's kind of just like funny that this is what I asked for. Like I asked for homework for Christmas, but I really love this book and it's such a useful resource. It's such a bummer that I had to go and purchase it myself. And it also makes me realize that there's probably so many other amazing resources that could help my postgrad studies a lot. It's just that it's not on my university catalog. So it's kind of a good way for me to realize that I have to widen my scope in the future and to really keep that in mind, that there's a lot of other scholars that I have to read, but their texts are just not immediately available to me, so I have to seek them out. And then I read one book. Actually, I read two books, but the second book I hated so much, I'm not even going to talk about them. But they're both from the same author, Ellery Queen. And Ellery Queen is both the author and the character in the book. I actually made a reading vlog about reading this book, The Chinese Orange Mystery, so I'll kind of talk about that more in the future. But basically, I follow this other book YouTuber named Summation Gathering, and he exclusively talks about murder mysteries, specifically Golden Age detective novels. And I found his channel to be a really amazing resource for not just like, for me, I love Agatha Christie, she's my goat, she's my greatest of all time, but I've always been like, the more I read of her, obviously the less I have new stuff from her. And so I've been trying to broaden my horizons, and he's just been a really great resource for that. And I decided to pick up Ellery Queen because I didn't want like some of the authors like Dorothy L. Sayers and Niall Marsh. I have their books in my collection actually, but I just feel like I want to kind of make projects out of my reading experience with them. Whereas for me, I really needed to kind of detangle or like just make the reading experience less daunting, because I feel like I overthink like reading books because I keep thinking I might have to make a video out of it and stuff like that. For 2026, one of my resolutions is to just be less precious about reading books in general, because to me, I think that's the best way to read more, is to actually not think of it as like a big daunting task. Like it's not homework, like I'm supposed to be doing it for fun. And so I chose Ellery Queen because I've never heard of him prior to seeing the Summation Gathering, and two, like based off of what I've heard from other people about Ellery Queen, I don't see myself kind of devoting as much time and effort as I will probably with the other authors that I like am genuinely intimidated by, like Dorothy L. Sayers, Niall Marsh, Agatha Christie. Those are all people that I want to devote a lot of time and energy to making big videos about. Whereas Ellery Queen, like he just sounds like an author that would have a couple of novels that I would be interested in reading. And so that's why I've decided to start with him first and then kind of work my way up to other. And yeah, The Chinese Orange Mystery is was honestly the best starting point for me, because the second book that I read that was a recommendation from Summation Gathering, I freaking hated it so bad. It pissed me off so much. It was really incredible how much I did not like the reading experience of that. And I was just like, I'm glad I started off with The Chinese Orange Mystery. I think it was a great like mystery. The plot was good. The characters were decently fleshed out. And both both books, I keep talking about a book that I don't even like, but I think the Chinese Orange Mystery is not particularly offensive because this was written back in the 1930s, and so a lot of the stuff that they're talking about is just always going to be outdated, whether it's the way that the female characters are treated, whether it's the POC colors are treated, or just the random stuff that they say that's just completely politically incorrect now. And so to me, like, I think this was just enough that I could brush off a lot of the historical period typical racism and sexism and still enjoy like what the book is trying to offer me. So the plot is good. I feel like I gained an insight into how people thought about China, etc. back then. So I actually would recommend this book. And so I'm really hoping that the other books that I read in the future are a little bit more similar to this one rather than the second book that I read, because I just felt like that was such a disaster. I couldn't wait to stop reading the second book, whereas Chinese Orange Mystery, I was like, I really wanted to know how it ends. And I also felt like the mystery was solvable. Like, it's a locked room mystery and it's a bit like confusing. Like, I didn't even bother trying to get the mechanics of the locked room mystery part, like whatever. I was mostly going off on the clues of the text, and I was like, okay, if this person is here and that person is there, then so and so is this. So that was really good because it made me feel like I could approach the book intellectually, like, yeah, I feel proud that I could get there, but it was still enough of a puzzle that I'm like, what is this? It's so ingenious, I didn't come up with that. So good stuff. And then the last category we have is treasures. These are items, objects, things that I have loved a lot this month. So due to the nature of filming this video, I will not include what I got for Christmas because I haven't opened my gifts yet. So I will probably save what I received from my family and friends for the next monthly favorites video. Otherwise, this video is just gonna get too long. The first thing on my monthly favorites video is the Vera Wang Embrace Green Tea and Pear Blossom Perfume. Come on, focus. Focus on me. What the heck? Ugh. Girl, focus on me. Okay, it's not focusing, but I really love this smell. Basically what happened is my younger sister moved out and needed to leave a lot of stuff behind. So she left behind some perfumes, and this is the one that I had picked out for myself. This is the one I liked the smell of the most. I think it smells amazing. And now I actually have a decent handful of perfumes. And for 2026, one of my resolutions is to be more of an active user of them so that they actually get used up, because they kind of just tend to sit on my shelf and it's not part of my like daily routine to like spritz some perfume on me. So that would be one of my resolutions, to make it more like actively using them into my daily life, a habit that I have to pick up. The next thing that I've been really loving is the Ultimate Strawberry Dreams Monster Drink. This is so delicious. It's so yummy. It's so delicious. Pick this up like one day completely random. I was with two other friends and we were picking snacks out of the convenience store, and both of them had picked up Monster energy drinks, and I was like, oh well, I don't want to feel left out, so I picked this one because it's so pink, and I was like, I'm sure it'll taste nice, and it tastes so yummy. I've been trying to not drink as often because like too much caffeine isn't great for me, especially like a big can like this. It actually takes me a couple of days to finish it because like otherwise like I'll just start jumping out of my skin. But I love this so much, and if you pour it out, you won't be able to see it, but I tried to do it in this video, but like when you pour it out, the drink itself is pink. So I just think that's like, I would never have known that it was pink if I didn't pour it out of the energy drink, because obviously you can't really see it there. So I appreciate the extra flair that the company did. Another favorite new drink that I have is this Turkish apple instant tea flavoring from Wittard. So my sister, I have two sisters, my other sister came back from the UK, and this was one of the things that she brought over for us to try. It's so yummy, very like warming. The only thing is that it's currently summer right now, so even though I love how it tastes, I'm trying to ration it so that by the time it's actually winter, I can fully enjoy this, because I can taste already that this will be really perfect for a really cold day. And then another item that I've been loving is my new sunglasses. I bought these from Cotton On. It was part of those random items that they put up at the counter so that when you're in line at the checkout, you're like, ooh, what are these? I really like these sunglasses because I really wanted sunglasses that didn't have those finicky bits at the nose bridge, because I really like putting my sunglasses up like this. So it's kind of like a makeshift headband to keep the hair out of my face. But I also just really like how the shape of the sunglasses fit my face. I think I'm glad I managed to find one that I really like. So yeah, I really like these. The next items I have is kind of a combo situation. So speaking of cotton on, if you remember my last monthly favorites video, I talked about this scalp massager, and I have been using it for about a month since then, and I think this has helped so much. And it could also just be because I'm using this other shampoo though, so I'm gonna put these together as like the dream team. So what happened for this particular shampoo brand is that I bought this like maybe 2 or 3 months ago, and the reason why I've only started to mention it now is because I think it's safe to say that I've definitely noticed a difference with how my scalp reacts to this formula. The ironic thing is that I actually bought this without like too much research. What I wanted to do was like buy a shampoo that had the least amount of environmental impact. So this one is a local brand. I didn't want to fall into the trap of trying out too many different hair products. I don't want to be endlessly chasing this perfect like beauty standard. And so when I was buying a replacement shampoo to replace our empty one, okay, let's just find one that seems good for the scalp and isn't too expensive and is like a local brand. But what's ironic is that I think this reacted really well with my scalp. So this dream team is like really amazing. And then my last treasure of the month is called Ellipsis. This is an alternative to Google Docs. So it has been brought to my attention that Google Docs might be reading your emails and your Google documents, and that kind of pissed me off because I use it so much to not only write and edit my scripts for the YouTube channel, but also for my post-grad studies. So the idea that like Google is scraping off my hard work is like infuriating. And on top of that, I've also been trying to shift away from Google the brand for many other reasons, but for some of them I couldn't find an alternative. However, this is such a classic example of the power of the influencer, because how I discovered Ellipsis is I was on Instagram Reels, and this account, the Instagram account for the website was recommended to me, and the name kind of stuck out to me, and so it just stayed in my brain. And then a few days later, I watched Swell Entertainment's video about AI, and she mentioned using switching to Ellipsis basically for the same reason that I just said about Google scraping my documents, stuff that I wrote personally. And so the minute she said that she was using Ellipsis, I immediately was like, okay, let me find this and then use it. So yeah, like I'm not actively encouraging people to break up with Google, but if you were also looking for an alternative to Google Docs, like, or because I don't really like using Microsoft Word either, if you're looking for an alternative like me, I recommend Ellipsis. So far it's been pretty easy to switch. Right now it's more of a trial period for me because I have a lot of drafts saved in Google Drive, and so it would be too time consuming to move everything to Ellipsis. So what I've been doing is that if there's a new draft that I need to start, I just use Ellipsis instead. And then if I'm finished with the draft on Google, then I just, wrap that up and download it into a hard drive. So hopefully, like, I'll report back to see how well I've made with the switch. But it couldn't hurt. It always helps to find ways to evade the monopolies in your life. And that's it. That's all of the highlights of my month. Those are only some of the things I have loved in December, but thank you for watching this video and hearing me talk about them. Let me know what your thoughts are on the things that I mentioned in the video, or what your favorites were of the month in the comment section. If you want to see more of my work, you are welcome to subscribe. I post videos about music, books, film, and sometimes about my life. All my social media links are down in the description in case you want to follow me there, alongside my Patreon and Coffee page if you want to support me financially. I'm trying to post more often on Patreon as just like a form of habit. I actually do have exclusive videos on there if you guys want to check it out, just to kind of get myself into the swing of posting more often on Patreon. I don't have any patrons right now, but manifesting more in 2026. So yeah, I look forward to sharing my love with you again next time. I will see you guys soon. Bye!